Now at 9, the Carl Junction City Council meets for the first time since impeaching its mayor. Plus, as more kids enter Missouri's juvenile system, we see what's driving the increase.
After a deadly Labor Day weekend in Chicago, President Trump says he's going to send federal resources to fight crime, but leaders in the nation's third largest city say they don't want him to. I'm Connor Hansen in New York. I'll have the details coming up.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
1 week after the Carl Junction City Council votes to impeach its mayor, the city leaders reconvene with an empty seat. This is KOAM News at 9 on Fox 14. I'm Tanya Bach. It was back to business tonight in Carl Junction. The city council met for the first time since impeaching former mayor Mike Moss last week. The council carried on with routine city business, but the impeachment still weighed heavy, with residents voicing their concerns.
I really feel like a forensic audit needs to be done. We need transparency. You want accountability. We need transparency. We need to know if this wants to be run as a business instead of a community-minded area, then let's see your business policy, your business rules. Let's see how the money is being spent.
The council announced a special session to take nominations to fill the mayor's position until the April election. That session is scheduled in 2 weeks on September 16th at 6:30 p.m. Well, Chief Meteorologist Doug Eddy joins us now with a first look at weather.
Well, it turned out to be a pretty good Tuesday for us today. Still had a couple isolated guys this afternoon, but in general, pretty good. Warming up a bit on our Wednesday, back to the mid-80s, closer to where we should be for this time of the year. I know it's been cooler, but we should still be 86, 7, 8 degrees. Thunderstorm chances tomorrow night. Now, some of these storms can be strong to low-grade severe, so we got to keep our eyes on that. And then we cool down a little bit, still on the mild side on Thursday, but a little bit more comfortable. All right, level 2 out of 5 severe threat in the yellow. Level 1 severe threat for us again Wednesday evening into Wednesday night. As of right now, not a whole bunch going on. Any showers we had earlier, those are pretty much gone. And it looks pretty calm as we go through the night. We'll drop back once again right around 60 degrees. We're going to look more in depth on those thunderstorms here in a bit.
All right, thanks, Doug. Well, the number of children and teens committed to the Missouri Division of Youth Services has increased over the last 4 years. Chris Bryant breaks down the numbers.
Anything from not going to school to first-degree murder and everything in between.
For the juvenile system, the number of children committed to the Division of Youth Services has increased from 366 in 2021 to 577 in 2024.
Has raised the age jurisdiction, the age from 16 when we would have to stop working with kids, and now included 17-year-olds.
When it comes to children committed to DYS, recent numbers show 59% had a history of substance abuse and 53% of kids had a history of mental health services.
Every legally sufficient referral that we get, we're going to reach out to that parent, again, if we're not, taking them into custody or things of that nature, and offering help and assistance.
Data from Missouri courts shows the juvenile system in 2024 had 41,568 referrals across the state. Law enforcement issues the most referrals, and Greene County sees an average of 2,000 referrals a year. When it comes to referrals in 2024, most of them were because of an assault, followed by property damage and then stealing.
And we have learned that if you just deal with the kid and consequence that behavior, but don't look at family systems issues, we should not be surprised when we release that kid from probation and 3 months later he's done or she's done something else.
76% of all referrals go through the informal process, and nearly 20% have informal adjustment, meaning no action taken. And just because your child is referred to Juvenile and Family Services doesn't mean your child will end up in detention. And family courts have a way for parents to reach out for help when they don't know what else to do.
We have what's called a parental assistance form, and the parents can just basically refer their own children here.
Division of Youth Services says last year, 138 youth were committed for serious offenses. 324 got committed for lesser crimes, and 31% of all youth who received Division of Youth Services Education Services were identified as having an educational disability.
In 2024, the average Division of Youth Services youth had attained 9.7 years of schooling at the time of incarceration. The SEK Humane Society is pausing all new animal intakes as they say they are at risk of closing their doors at the end of the year. The nonprofit says this could happen without new financial support as donations and grants have dropped to unsustainable levels, even as the cost of operating continues to rise. Staff say the pause in intakes is necessary as they are already at maximum capacity. Today, the Humane Society asked the Crawford County Commission for $30,000 a month to allow the shelter to remain open.
It's not just about the animals, and that's what I'm here to present to you guys today. This is about public safety, public health, and protecting our county's future, because we're talking about a big problem here.
The SEK Humane Society says community support is more important now than ever before, whether it be through donations, adoptions, or volunteering. We have more on how you can help on our website at KOAMnewsnow.com. Well, Joplin is looking for a homelessness director less than 2 months after their current director took on the role. Eric Argenbright notified the Joplin Regional Commission on Homelessness of his intention to resign within 30 days. He cites unanticipated personal reasons as the cause for his departure. The resignation comes 3 weeks after Argenbright sat down with KOAM to discuss what he hoped to do in the role. According to the commission's executive director, Argenbright will work with them during this transition and offer guidance on his next steps. The commission intends to fill the position quickly and says they will know more in the coming weeks. Well, the city of Joplin says it is actively collaborating with the developer on the proposed Prospect Village project and has a series of public hearings underway. The next one is scheduled for October 20th. Now, these are the latest renderings for the proposed development, which would be near 20th and Rangeline. The multi-use project will feature a 135,000 square foot athletic facility with outdoor turf fields and the ability to host tournaments. The development would also include a major retailer such as a grocery store, a hotel, and an apartment complex with more than 300 units. City officials say the project has the potential to create an enormous economic impact for local businesses and increase tax revenue from out-of-town visitors. The developer estimates if construction can break ground at the end of 2025, it may take about 8 years for all the component projects to be completed. Now, the sports complex would be built first, with hopes to be open in 2027. Well, coming up, a day to remember. Veterans and officials gather in Washington, D.C. for the 80th anniversary of VJ Day, the day that marked the end of World War II in Japan. But up first, see why one woman created a listening bench and is taking on the cause of young adult loneliness. Mental health professionals say it's important for everyone to feel like they have a solid support network. But in a world where loneliness is hailed as an epidemic, it can be hard for many people to feel connected. As Fox's Gary Baumgarten reports, one university is sharing insights into an ongoing program hoping to bridge the gap.
According to the CDC, about 1 in 3 adults report feeling lonely, and as college students head to campus this back-to-school season, health experts say many young adults are still plagued by this emotion, and being separated from their homes and families may only exacerbate the isolation.
We have this banner that says, "I'm all ears. You can talk to me about anything." And I believe that I have heard most of anything.
In a bid to help build understanding and connection, researchers at Arizona State University started the All Ears Friendship Bench program.
It's a matter of sitting. That's the main thing you do.
Friendship benches are staffed by older adult volunteers like Pensy Culliver. Every Tuesday, this ASU alumna sets up her sign and sits. Then, for about an hour and a half, students can come and talk to her.
It also has taught me that kids really are lonely, and they really don't have somebody to divulge things that they don't even want to divulge to their roommate or a classmate.
Volunteers offer a safe space for students to feel seen and heard, while also passing along their wisdom and life experiences. The goal is also to help create opportunities for different generations to connect.
I do it because I really, really enjoy it. It's meeting a need that I never would have even known about.
Gary Baumgarten, Fox News.
A new report suggests binge watching your favorite shows may boost your memory. Researchers from the University of Georgia and Michigan State University studied 540 undergraduate students who binge watched television. The study found people who binge watched TV shows for long periods of time developed retrospective imaginative involvement, which means continuously thinking about stories after completing them. According to the study, a person who binge watches TV may pull fulfilling memories from their session and use it to cope with stress throughout their day, possibly increasing their well-being. A new treatment approach is showing promise preventing breast cancer from returning. University of Pennsylvania clinical trial found it is possible to identify breast cancer survivors at risk of their cancer coming back by locating dormant cancer cells in their bodies. Already existing cancer drugs were able to clear those dormant cancer cells in 80% of the trial's participants. Well, Doug is next with a complete look at your forecast.
A brand new trail is blazing its way through Joplin. I'm Lonnie Walton in Joplin. I'll have that story coming up.
Well, it turned out to be a pretty good Tuesday for us today. We did have a few isolated little showers out there. Most of us were dry. With the heating of the day late this afternoon into the evening hours. These have all pretty much fallen apart. See a couple guys, north central parts of Arkansas. Besides that, we're shaping up pretty good. However, as we go into the daytime hour, actually the evening hours tomorrow, in the yellow here, our northern counties, we have a level 2 severe threat, a level 1 severe threat in the green. So mainly along north of I-44. Here's the timing. Northern counties, 5 p.m.-ish. Southern counties about midnight. Main threat is going to be hail and wind, but I'm going to keep most of the threats on the low side as we go through tomorrow. But am I going to sneeze? Nope. Teasing me, Tanya. All right, temperatures down right about 60 to 62 by the time we get into the morning hours. All right, let's go through the day. Upper 70s to near 80 by noon. Once we get into the afternoon, a little bit hotter. I think most of us 83, 84, 85 degrees. Now, tomorrow evening, here comes the front. These are going to be scattered. What that means for you is not everybody's going to get wet tomorrow night. I would say about 40% of us. But the storms that do fire, those could be strong to low grade severe. Again, main threat, hail and wind. So here's 8 p.m. driving south and east, scattered through the evening hours. Here's 11 p.m. Still a few out there. And then mainly gone after midnight for us tomorrow night. We move into Thursday starting right around 60, 62 degrees. Thursday, a little less humidity, a little cooler. Highs upper 70s to near 80, lower 80s in our southern counties, upper 70s once you get into our northern counties. Another front heads toward us Thursday night into Friday morning. So additional chances for scattered showers and a few thunderstorms as we go into Friday as well. It's kind of hard to figure out rain because it's going to be scattered. So we'll just have to see where these storms kind of line up as we go through the next couple days. 61 to start, 78 by noon, high temp, 85 degrees. Looks pretty good. Great shot of our Cornell Arts and Entertainment Complex. A little bit of a breeze out there, but most of us are sitting low to mid 70s. We'll drop back lower 60s later on tonight. All right, so let's go into Friday. We have that front on top of us, some scattered showers and thunderstorms. Heading into the weekend, any range mainly shoved to our south as we go into Saturday afternoon, but then rain starts to sneak back in with another wave as we get into late Sunday, Sunday night, and into Monday. We'll put additional chances for some showers, maybe a few thunderstorms back in the forecast. Temperatures, though, overall pretty good. Our average high still mid to upper 80s. 85 tomorrow, 80 on Thursday, upper 70s Friday, Saturday, and then mid 70s Sunday and into Monday.
All right, a little bit of range, but I'm digging those temperatures in the 70s.
Yeah, it looks pretty good.
Yeah, good evening lows too. All right, thanks, Doug. Well, there is something new heating up excitement for Joplin residents, a fresh trail. The 10 Cup Trail is officially open. Stretching 1.5 miles, it links the St. John's Trail to the McIndoe Park and the Shoal Creek area. KOAM's Lonnie Walton caught up with city officials who say they're thrilled to see this long-anticipated project come to life.
Length too, it's a 1/2 mile or 1.5 miles that way, and then if we walk it back, it's a good 3-mile loop.
Emily Gilbert is a Joplin resident. She's excited about the new trail called the 10 Cup Trail.
It's very well kept. It's close to our house. We just live right down the road, and we like that it's paved so we can bring our dog.
Oh, there's already a few trails around here already, but with there being another one, it adds a little more choice to Joplin.
And lots of trails are what some may believe, but Dan Johnson, who's the director of public works for the city of Joplin, says it's not a bad thing.
All of these trails, we look at tying things together. We look at points of interest. Of course, Cunningham Park, Mercy Park.
I love the new trail. It's great walking and good looks.
Johnson says these trails start at 32nd and McIntosh and travels to McDowell Park. And not only that, there will soon be a 120-foot bridge on the way. Johnson says it's going to be monumental.
Be a beautiful bridge, suspension bridge, the only one in the area, and I think that it will be become a bit of a landmark.
Johnson says he listened to the people before the trail was created. One thing they wanted was space.
New trail, it's 12 feet wide. It will have a stripe down the middle, and I think that just adds to the quality of the trail, the safety for people using it.
More trails open gives us more options, just more opportunity to walk.
And if you haven't worked out that Labor Day meal yet, now's the time to do it. Reporting in Joplin, I'm Lonnie Walton, KOAM News.
Well, Johnson says the bridge is now on hold as materials need to build it are currently delayed. He hopes to have it completed in early spring of next year. Well, coming up next, housing costs are crushing families. President Trump weighs an emergency declaration to address the crisis this fall.
It's on the heartland.
Can't afford to buy a home, or do you find yourself getting priced out of one you rent? You're not alone. It's a familiar story for millions of Americans, and now President Trump wants to do something about it. Fox News Chief Washington correspondent Mike Emanuel has more from the D.C. Bureau.
Our housing industry is good, but it could be phenomenal.
President Trump is putting the spotlight on housing. Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent says the president is considering a national housing emergency declaration in the fall to address high costs and low availability. There aren't many specifics available, but the White House is reportedly looking at standardizing local building and zoning codes and decreasing closing costs.
We're looking at what the president has available to him. This president understands real estate. He understands housing better than anybody. We will fix this housing market.
It comes as the president ramps up his war of words with Fed Chair Jerome Powell, claiming his reluctance to cut interest rates is making housing unaffordable.
We have this affordability crisis, and there are two ways to fix it. We're bending the curve on inflation, and then we can bring down prices.
But some conservatives are opposing the emergency declaration, arguing the market needs to correct itself.
We want to encourage home ownership, but you got to have the housing out there. The housing stock is not growing fast enough. That's the bottom line here.
And Democrats who have made housing affordability a major issue say President Trump is just playing politics, hoping to appeal to more moderate voters ahead of the midterm elections.
Affordability is something that has to be applied across the board.
The president is also reportedly considering dropping tariffs on construction materials to bring down new home prices. In Washington, Mike Emanuel, Fox News.
Well, the U.S. Department of Agriculture is warning Americans not to eat some batches of Trader Joe's uncured pepperoni pizza. The agency says the product, which was imported from Italy, did not receive import reinspection before it was shipped to stores in California. There have been no illnesses reported in connection to the product. The affected pizzas have been pulled from store shelves, but Americans are urged to check their freezers and return them for a refund. Well, coming up next, Carl Junction High School gets a check for their support of the upcoming First Responders Memorial in the county.
This month,
the Arvez Foundation presents a check to Carl Junction Schools for their support of the upcoming First Responders Memorial in Jasper County. The memorial is set to be unveiled on September 11th at 9 a.m., honoring those who've lost their lives while on duty, including 1993 Carl Junction High School grad Ben Cooper.
Funds will help to establish a memorial at our new athletic complex that specifically will honor Corporal Ben Cooper, who is a Carl Junction graduate. It will also honor first responders and law enforcement officers who currently serve, and then honor Jasper County affiliated officers who have given their lives in the line of duty.
The foundation's goal is to recognize local groups working to improve quality of life in the 4 states. 30 more minutes of news, weather, and sports coming your way. President Trump takes on Chicago crime, whether its leaders want it or not. And celebrating VJ Day, the anniversary of the end of World War II.
Theory. You're watching the 4 states most watched news.
This is KOAM News at 9. I'm Tanya Bach. President Donald Trump says he will help the city of Chicago fight crime, whether its leaders want it or not. America's 3rd largest city could be the latest to see an influx of federal law enforcement. Fox News correspondent Connor Hansen has the latest.
There's no place in the world, including you can go to Afghanistan. Chicago is a hellhole right now.
Over Labor Day weekend, 8 people were killed and nearly 60 others were shot in the city of Chicago, according to police. President Trump says he's going to send extra federal manpower to help fight crime. But Chicago leaders are digging in, saying that's not what they want.
What his ultimate desire is to come into our city, to break the Constitution, and to break our democracy. Chicago is going to remain firm in our position.
Mayor Brandon Johnson signed an executive order Saturday barring the Chicago Police Department from helping with immigration enforcement. The added enforcement in Chicago is expected to be more focused on immigration than the recent use of the National Guard to help fight crime in Washington, D.C.
ICE officers are planning to come here to Little Village, and I just want people to know that we're doing everything we can in the state and in the city to keep you safe.
The Trump administration faced scrutiny after sending National Guard troops to Los Angeles this year when protests broke out over immigration raids. A judge has now ruled that the deployment broke an 1878 law which prevents the use of U.S. troops for domestic law enforcement. The added federal law enforcement is expected to arrive in Chicago in a matter of days. In New York, Connor Hansen, Fox News.
President Trump is calling on pharmaceutical companies to justify their COVID drug results. In a social media post, the president said there are disagreements over the life-saving effects of the drugs. CVS and Walgreens say they're limiting access to the COVID vaccine in some states after the FDA authorized the latest shots only for people over 65 or with health conditions. Well, today is VJ Day, the anniversary of the official end of World War II in 1945. While veterans and officials gathered in D.C. to mark the day, Russia, North Korea, and China held their own ceremony in Beijing. Fox's Caroline Shively has more from Washington.
U.S. veterans and officials gathered in Washington Tuesday to mark Victory over Japan Day. 80 years after Japan officially unconditionally surrendered, ending World War II.
We were called by our country, and we took an oath to pledge that what we did would help mankind.
Japan signed the documents on September 2, 1945, aboard the USS Missouri. Germany had surrendered in May of that year in a war that claimed the lives of more than 400,000 Americans and an estimated 60 million people worldwide. China and its allies are also marking the day. North Korean leader Kim Jong-un and Russian President Vladimir Putin are among the 26 world leaders joining China's president in Beijing for a massive parade.
No, that's not the cool kids' lunch table in the cafeteria. Those are the outcasts. Putin's playing all of his cards. So he's trying to play the China card. He's trying to play the India card.
Each year, fewer World War II veterans are here to mark the day. Just 45,000 remain of the 16 million who served. In Washington, Caroline Shively, Fox News.
Well, Doug is next with a complete look at your forecast. And later, ranchers out west are facing rising wolf numbers. How the battle is turning high-tech with drones.
Well, it turned out to be a nice Tuesday for us today. Temperatures pretty good across the region as we went into the lower 80s during the afternoon, so not too bad across the region. Now, as we go through the next couple days, we are going to have some thunderstorm chances back in the forecast. Not much for us today. We had a few isolated little guys kind of pop up, but overall, we are looking pretty good. However, as we go into tomorrow, not during the day, talking evening into the overnight hours, some scattered showers and thunderstorms. And I do mean scattered, and that means hit and miss, mainly along and north of I-44. Level 1 severe threat in the green. In the yellow, we have a level 2 severe threat, mainly 5 p.m. to about midnight, hail, wind. All the threats, though, overall are fairly low. Let me walk you through time. So we're going to start, here we go, for Wednesday morning, 60 to about 62 degrees. As we go through the day, upper 70s to near 80 by noon. By afternoon, I think most of us, 83, 84, 85 degrees. Notice the change to our north, 5 p.m., strong severe thunderstorms developing, driving south and east, but very hit and miss. In the overall trend, these will start to fall apart as they push in. So I don't think we're going to have much in the way of severe weather, but yeah, something we still want to watch. Scattered thunderstorms, pretty much gone by midnight, and then pretty calm as we go into Thursday morning. We'll drop back once again, lower 60s. Let me take you into Thursday afternoon. Smidge cooler, a little less humidity, upper 70s north, lower 80s to the south across the region. Clouds increase again as we go into Friday as we get another cold front that is going to drape into the region. Rain's going to be so scattered, it's hard to figure out exactly who's going to get it, but if you get stuck underneath one of those storms tomorrow, you may pick up a quick 1/10 or 2/10 of an inch. 61 to start, 78 by noon, 84 by 4, high temp, 85 degrees. Looks good right now. Great shot of our Cornell Arts and Entertainment Complex tower cam. 70 to about 75 degrees is where we are sitting. Let's work your way into the weekend. So Friday, we got another front on top of us, scattered showers and a few thunderstorms. As of right now, it looks like most of the rain presses south as we go into Saturday, but cooler, mid-70s for highs. Sunday, we get another little wave that starts to skirt out toward us, and with it, some scattered showers and a few thunderstorms. So we do have a few more waves to watch. Here's our upper level flow. You can see big dome of high pressure. We have a northwest flow out of the northwest, keeping our temperatures very comfortable. Reinforcement shot our next couple little cold fronts. This was wintertime. This would be a big Arctic blast. And then here's our little wave that comes out as we go into Sunday and Monday. 85 for Wednesday, 80 on Thursday, 78 Friday, 79 Saturday, 77 on Sunday. Rain chances again Sunday and Monday of next week.
So how early would those storms be coming in tomorrow evening, like to this area here?
Northern counties like 5 or 6. You know, here proper probably 9 or 10.
Okay, well, keep an eye on it
Yep.
for sure. All right, thanks, Doug. Well, the 30th annual art exhibit is open at the Neosho Chamber of Commerce. The art exhibit is inspired by Thomas Hart Benton. All the artwork is from local emerging and professional artists. It's open for viewing September and October, and some of the pieces are available for purchase as well. Well, still ahead, Kansas high school football kicks off in 3 days. Get your first look at the 2025 Humboldt and St. Paul football teams. Ben McLeish has those stories up next in sports.
Humboldt football is back this Friday, and the 2025 Cubs have big shoes to fill. The 2024 senior class was the winningest in Humboldt history. Last season, the Cubs were regional champs and started the season 10-0. But Humboldt has plenty of talent returning for 2025. And 11th-year head coach Logan Wyrick's expectations remain the same for this year's team.
we lost a solid senior class. They were the winningest class in school history, so that speaks volumes with them. But I think there's a lot of guys that got a lot of playing time last year and over the last couple of years. So we bring a lot back, especially up front. So we're looking to lean on that, our O-line and D-line, and hopefully some guys can kind of grow around them in the skill positions, and we can build on that.
One of the members of last year's senior class was their starting QB, Blake Ellis. Now Mason Sterling will step into the role of field general for the Cubs. But he's no stranger to the Humboldt offense. Last season as a skill player, he rushed for over 900 yards and racked up over 300 receiving yards as well.
My first year I wasn't able to play a whole lot, but the last 2 years especially I've been in the offense and different positions, and it's good to be in different positions because you get to learn not just your playbook or your spot, but every other spot, and it helps you understand the game a lot more. So I think previous years of experience will help this year for sure.
Sterling is recovering from an ankle injury and won't be ready for Humboldt's season opener against Caney Valley this Friday, but he'll line up under center at some point this season. St. Paul football is back on the practice field, preparing for Kansas football kickoff this Friday. As the Indians look to take steps forward after a 2-7 record last season, head coach Keith Wyatrak enters his second season as head coach since returning to the position last year. Wyatrak's passion for St. Paul football is evident. He grew up in the area, graduated from St. Paul, and represented the Indians on the gridiron every Friday night as a player. Now, as the head coach, there is no place he'd rather be.
Everybody wants to coach in their hometown, but a lot of people have big goals in coaching and moving up the ladder and start somewhere and try to get bigger and bigger, until ultimately their highest level that they could be at. And I'm satisfied with A-man football in St. Paul, Kansas. I've lived here my whole life, and someday I'll be over there across the street in that cemetery, hopefully. So I just love being around it. I love the community. I love this town.
Coach Wyatrak, he's awesome. He really cares about us. Last year, obviously things didn't go the way we planned, but he was always there for us. Having someone that knows us and has been around us and knows what it's like to, have failure and then get back up again is really inspiring.
The strength for this St. Paul squad in 2025 will be in the backfield. The Indians return running back Devin Vogel, who rushed for over 1,000 yards a year ago, and quarterback Breck Norris. With the full season under their belts in this offensive scheme, the dynamic duo is set to lead a strong ground game attack.
Him and I have been quarterback, running back duo since our 7th grade year. So we've played football together for 4 years. Our mesh points are on point. He does a great job about handing the ball off and getting me in the right spots. That way I make the hold that I need to make. But he can also throw the ball fairly well.
Instead of knowing the plays, being explosive in the plays. So now we know the plays, what we want to run, why are we running it, why are we doing it. Now we don't have to think about it, we can just be explosive doing it. I think it's going to help them both tremendously. And then they'll be back as seniors too, so you get to grow together a little bit. Them learning my system last year, running option football. I expect us to be hard to stop this year on the ground.
St. Paul opens up its season this Friday on the road against the Northeast Vikings. On Saturday, Missouri Southern football won its first season opener since 2013. Today, the Lions get even more good news. Zach Bergman, senior linebacker from Rogersville, Missouri, is named the MIAA Defensive Athlete of the Week. Bergman registered a career-high 14 tackles and helped the Lion defense in holding Midwestern State to under 100 rushing yards. The honor is the second of Bergman's career. That's it for sports. We're back with more after this.
Drones are being used for so many things, from helping to plant seeds to controlling mosquitoes and beyond. And while the Army uses drones for surveillance, so are biologists at the United States Department of Agriculture, as they take to the sky to ward off wolves, all to help protect valuable livestock. Fox News' Ted Linder takes a closer look at the operations.
No matter the line of work, it's safe to assume all business owners want to protect their property. It's no different for cattle ranchers out west, with a growing number having to face rising populations of gray wolves and the risk they'll target their livestock.
We will do 3 different attempts to move the wolf off
In the ever-advancing digital age, biologists with the Department of Agriculture, Animal and Planet Health Inspection Service have been taken to the sky for night missions, using drones to scare away wolves along the California-Oregon border.
As we're flying, you're up with the drone and you're using the thermal camera to just monitor for wolf presence near the cattle.
But just flying a drone at a wolf isn't guaranteed to work.
The first wolf that he did encounter, he dropped down, started to come in on it, and what you see in the video is the wolf started to play bow and wanted to play with the drone.
The team experimented by blasting rock music and other sounds from the drones, and out of every noise they used,
the human voice was the strongest response out of all the other sounds that we were playing. Live voice just saying, "Hey, wolf, get out of here." That animal immediately turned and ran for the woodline.
The number of gray wolves has grown in the West since populations were decimated by hunters.
At one time, there were an estimated 2 million wolves ranging across all of North America.
But while drones are providing a non-lethal strategy, some cattle ranchers doubt it'll be a long-lasting solution.
At some point, the wolves are going to figure out, yeah, that thing makes a lot of noise, but I'm still hungry.
Ted Lindner, Fox News.
Up next, you've still got a chance. The Powerball jackpot is up over $1 billion after no winning numbers. Players will have another chance to go for the $1 billion Powerball jackpot after no ticket matched all 6 numbers drawn last night. The winning numbers were 25, 23, 8, 40, 53, and 5 as the Powerball. With no one winning, the jackpot is now at $1.3 billion. That's our time for tonight. Thank you for joining us. We're going to leave you with video of a baby rhino taking some of his first steps at the Whipsnade Zoo in England. He's already running. Have a great night and an even better tomorrow.